Can you imagine an indicator that combines artificial intelligence with traditional technical analysis? Well, what Lux Algo has created here is simply impressive. Today, I will introduce you to the SUPERTREND AI clustering, an indicator that elevates the traditional supertrend by leveraging machine learning and artificial intelligence to identify trends with significantly greater accuracy. And the best part is, it shows the strength of each signal and even helps you automatically adjust your stops. So stick with me until the end, because this might be one of the smartest indicators you'll ever see here on TradingView. This here is the SUPERTREND AI clustering, developed by Lux Algo. It cleverly integrates the well-known supertrend with a machine learning technique called K-means clustering, a process that essentially groups and thoroughly analyzes data to uncover more dependable patterns directly on your chart. When you add the indicator, you'll notice that it displays labels on the chart, indicating the start of an uptrend or a downtrend. These labels come equipped with numbers that serve as a confidence score. From 0 to 3, it signifies a weak signal. 4 to 6 indicates a moderate signal. 7 or more means a strong and reliable signal. Precisely as you can observe from this illustrative table they present right above. Along with the label, a line appears on the chart, and that's your dynamic stop loss, always following the price in the direction of the trend. Right below that, you will see another line, the AMA, which is an adaptive moving average that functions as a longer-term guide for the trend. It intelligently reacts to market performance, which can assist you in deciding the optimal moment to exit a trade. Furthermore, the colors of the candles also hold significant importance. They change in a gradient fashion, visually indicating whether the market's momentum is gaining strength or weakening. This really helps in reading the momentum and even in catching an entry if you miss the first signal. Should we double-click the indicator, the settings will then appear, and there you can observe several interesting options, such as the ATR period, which I typically adjust to 20. The default, if I'm not mistaken, is 10, but I set it to 20 and it defines the price variation sensitivity. The lower it is, the faster it reacts, the higher, the smoother and more filtered it is. The factor range and step size control how the stop loss behaves, along with the interval for tests and setups. There's also the performance memory, which defines if the indicator will give more weight to recent data for faster responses or to a longer history to smooth out noise. Cluster selection lets you pick if the final signal comes from the best, average, or even worst cluster, ideal for those who want to adjust signal aggressiveness. These options here make the indicator extremely versatile, but the default settings already work very well. Like I said, the only thing I really change is the ATR period to make it smoother and give fewer false signals. You can click OK. So how do you actually add the indicator here on TradingView? You have the freedom to select any chart for any asset you prefer to trade. For this demonstration, I've chosen Bitcoin USDT. I've placed it on the 15-minute chart, but you can also use the 1 hour, 30-minute, 4-hour, or even the daily chart. It's entirely up to you. Head over to the indicators section and look up SUPERTREND AI, and that will be the first option from Lux Algo. Just click on it and it will then appear on your chart just like it is displayed on mine. Now you're probably asking yourself, how do I actually use this indicator in my daily trading? But before we go on, many of you often ask me which broker I personally use for trading Forex, stocks, or cryptocurrencies. And the answer is EXNESS. To me, it's the best and most complete broker out there. If you've been frustrated with your broker, you'll get what I'm saying. Many brokers have slow order execution. On EXNESS, it's instant. Some brokers charge very high spreads. At EXNESS, both spreads and fees are remarkably low. Truly some of the smallest you'll see in the market. Have you ever been left waiting for days just to get a withdrawal? Well, at EXNESS, your money appears almost instantaneously. Best of all, you can adjust leverage to be almost infinite however you like while controlling your risk. So if your broker lags, overcharges, or delays payment, it's time for a change. The link is in the description. And as I mentioned, I personally consider it to be among the best brokers, with some of the lowest fees in the market. The answer to that is very, very simple. There will be some initial questions to consider before you make your decision. The first is to observe when the price has established a trend, for example an uptrend, by looking at the number displayed below. If this number is above 3, it's a reliable trend. Numbers below 3 are less favorable in my opinion, but you can still take them into account, depending on the overall market structure. For instance, even though the number here is 2, the uptrend structure is exceptionally healthy right now, consistently forming higher highs and higher lows. So what exactly can we expect from this point onward? We anticipate the price will develop a distinct uptrend, similar to what occurred here. characterized by the formation of consecutive higher peaks and troughs. When it returns to the indicator lines, if it gets too close, as it did here, or even touches but does not break through, and then immediately forms a reversal candle showing strength in the trend's direction, as was the case with this green candle, notice that this red candle tried to get close right here on the indicator's lines. It faced rejection, evidenced by this wick. Immediately afterwards, a reversal candle formed, colored to match the prevailing trend. This was a green candle that notably almost entirely engulfed the body of the previous candle. Therefore, this indeed presented a good opportunity for us to place an entry on the chart. We could have initiated a purchase exactly as this candle finalized its closing. Our stop loss will consistently be positioned just below the indicator's designated area, specifically around minus 0.60 in this instance, and our profit target set at twice that, which in this scenario would be 1.20. The chart precisely reached this point, resulting in a wonderful win for us on this buy entry. For a bearish operation, the principle is identical, just in the opposite direction. The first thing you're going to do is observe the number that shows up during the downtrend. In this particular instance, the number 3 appeared. As I mentioned earlier, from 3 and above, it indicates a much stronger trend, so it starts to become rather interesting right here. It would be even better if the number was higher, but 3 is already a decent number. What are we going to wait for? A return to the indicator's lines here. So it came back to this candle and started to move sideways, indicating it lost momentum here. As a result, it probably won't be able to break upwards. So in this specific instance, there were no closes above the lines. But then, what did this candle here do? It demonstrated renewed strength, moving back into the downtrend primarily because it completely engulfed the preceding candle. So with this engulfing candle here, I could have executed my sell order precisely at the close of this candle, which would have occurred at this specific point. I would place the stop at 0.15, just slightly above the indicator's lines, and set my target to be twice as low, which would be at 0.30, and it hit that target right here. With a short stop loss and a target twice the size, our take profit was achieved in just minutes. This clearly demonstrates how accurate this indicator is when paired with this strategy. However, this video is not a financial recommendation to buy or sell, and much less an endorsement to use this indicator. Always use your own price action reading, fundamental analysis, and never trade with money you can't afford to lose. The financial market is risky, and you could end up losing your capital if you operate without knowing what you are doing. To summarize, Lux Algo's SUPERTREND AI clustering is a potent indicator that merges technical analysis with AI. It shows you the trend strength, dynamic entry and exit points, and automatic risk management. All of this in a simple visual way. If this video has helped you in any way, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you'll always be the first to know whenever I post a new video. Also, make sure to leave a like. As that helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated to bring you fresh videos. And drop a comment saying more indicators, so I know you'd like me to feature more TradingView indicators here. Even ones like these that implement artificial intelligence. So, that's all for today's video. See you in the next one, and until then, take care.